Hi, and welcome to my podcast, Laughter Lab. I'm so happy to have you. So, I know about you and the really cool things that you do, but why don't you share with the millions of viewers and listeners out there about the things that you do?
That's awesome. Hey, I'm stoked to be here. Thank you so much. And for all the millions of people that are listening to us right now, my name is Jeremiah Hammond. I'm a project management professional. I live here in Portland, Oregon. And me and my co founder and partner, have a business called Project Revolution. And we help project managers, more importantly, leaders, execute projects that are not going to only change the world, but potentially could save it. So, our whole goal is to help people rock project management. And while they're doing it, you ready? Have fun while they're doing it.
Oh, I love that. That's the best part. This
You
is
can
why
have
you're here.
fun. You can have fun while you're at work.
I know
All you project
exactly.
managers out there.
Yes. And so I'm a big believer in this, and I believe you are too. So we're here to share this because, this podcast is about laughter and humor in the workplace, and such and such. So the first question that I have for you, when you were growing up, do you remember having somebody in the family being like very funny?
Absolutely.
Mm.
My father was a very funny man. He was a very funny man. He used to tell me all the funny, like he had a million jokes all the time. And I never knew, like, it was like his jokes never ran out. And what would happen is I would tell him the joke, and he'd always, for years, he gave me a lot of crap about it. He'd go, I'd look at him and go, tell me another one, tell me another one. And he would just sit there. And so he would always see me, and out of nowhere, no matter how we were feeling or where we were at, and he would always just have a magical joke, that he would pull out. And as we aged, his jokes got a little different. They were a little bit more as we progressed in age. He got a little funnier, I'd say. But yeah, my dad was a very funny man.
That's cool. So I guess we can say that like maybe laughter and humor has always played, an important role in your life.
Absolutely. The minute that we lose laughter or being playful, I mean, we've lost it all, because that's the one thing that really helps us in any of those moments when things are happening, especially in project management, when things are chaotic. If we can't step back and laugh a little bit about some of it, it's hard, it's rough, it can be real rough. So I think laughter is the best medicine.
I agree with you. So, how do you feel that like laughter, humor, and playfulness, how can that impact the workplace or the work culture, in your opinion?
Well, if you really think about it, everything that we do is based on the state or the mood that we're in. So decisions we make, when we have strong decisions, and we have to make sound, fast, quick decisions, if you make them in a low state, you're going to get low decisions. Decisions that might not be very good, might be rash, might be quick but not informed. If you can get people to laugh, it gives us clarity and focus. The minute that we get into that state, we get enhanced and we get feeling good. That's when we make the best decisions. So if you can take situations that are stressful and have tension in them, and you can bring laughter to it, and you can bring playfulness to it, and people can joke, everything changes. Everything changes. Decisions are better, revenue's better, everything's better when people are having a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. So, were you ever in that situation that where you felt that maybe, laughter and humor or, being funny helped you somehow with, maybe with a client or, maybe dealing with a difficult situation at work?
Yeah, so that's kind of people would tell you that Jeremiah is a little goofy sometimes. He can be goofy. I use it to break people's patterns,
Mm.
and it's the best way to do it. It's like if people are down, we can't really do much with sadness. When people are sad, it's hard to channel that emotion into positivity. We have to break their pattern, and the best way to do that is by making people laugh. So if you can get people to laugh, make certain situations light, and has to be appropriate, then you can really get people to kind of step back and get outside of their head and a little bit more into their heart and have fun. So I've used it in many situations. And just so everybody knows, I've worked in some of the most complex industries in the world and delivered some of the top projects, to do some of them to even save our nation. And those are high stress situations. And I led those teams. And the way that I did it was by bringing a little fun and humor to the role.
That's
That's it.
great. I'm so thankful that you're doing this, Jeremiah. This is really cool because yeah, I feel absolutely, the same in terms of like that can really help, folks and especially when you're in a stressful situation. But
Hmm.
this thing that you just said, this is very interesting to me. The fact that you said, some people say Jeremiah is a little goofy, right? So do you feel like there's sometimes maybe, you know, depending on like who you're working with, or depending on the environment, depending on the size of the company, but that um, I feel like there. Yes, we can be funny, and work is serious, right? I mean,
Hmm.
we can, you know what I
It's a
mean. But
balance.
do you feel like there's sometimes maybe you had some kind of like I don't know, people that like misinterpreter, or resistance, because they felt like, oh, this guy, oh, it's too goofy for me. We are
Mhm.
in an environment that is so serious. There is no time to laugh, or this is not the right place. Have you ever experienced that?
I have, and that's why I tell people, you can have fun and joke in project management. We're a bunch of professionals, and we know there's a time and a place to be a professional, but there's also a time and a place to step back and be human and have fun. And so sometimes that being goofy is my way of changing patterns. And you know what? Sometimes in a team of 5 or 6 different people, one or two of them might be judging a little bit, but the other ones, they're okay with it because they don't want work to be stuffy. It's a new world, new day, new age. We go to work and it's about performance. And if you want people to perform, let them have fun. Seriously, give them something that they can go to work and look forward to, and knowing that it's not just totally uptight. Nobody wants to go to work if everything's uptight, right?
Mm.
No, it's like, but we have to be professional. And I know that. I mean, I work in a very professional industry,
Yes.
but, fun. It's just, it really helps everyone through the chaos. And there's plenty of it.
I like that. There is plenty of fun and there is plenty of chaos.
That's right.
Um, do you think that like maybe sometimes people have I don't know how can I say that, like a blockage, or maybe they feel like, because in my opinion sometimes when you're having fun, when you're using humor, when you're laughing, it's really about like showing yourself, right? Like being you, and this is me. This is the way I deal with things. This is the way I operate, and this is the way I go through life, right? But do you feel like that sometimes, because of the work culture that we need to put on a mask and don't show that, or maybe do you feel like the people have fear of like, oh, if I do that, if I really show myself,
Mhm.
they won't accept me, or things like that.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of people, have preconceived notions of and like their own expectations and standards that limit them. They show up to work and they think that I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be that, because society or whatever has told them that they have to be that. They're like, you need to be this way at this kind of, in these kind of professions. And so by doing that, they don't show them true selves because they have a fear of not being good enough or being looked down upon. The thing that happens is that a lot of us, if anything's going to hurt our identity or our status, then we will do anything to not do that. And so if it comes off being a little goofy, you know, um, some people might not want to be, they don't want to identify with that because likes attract likes. And so they feel like it's not professional enough. But when you get to know a lot of those executive leaders and you get in the background with them, they are really goofy themselves. They are super goofy. They do some things like
Hmm.
I probably shouldn't say on this podcast, but they do some things that you're like, is this really happening right now? Are we doing this? Okay, I did not know that. I'm glad that we untightened our tie a little bit today.
Yes, oh, that's great. Yeah, and I felt maybe, yeah, it's true. Sometimes maybe you feel, people feel like, oh, maybe I can't, I'm not allowed to, right?
Hmm.
Very
Yeah,
interesting, right?
yeah,
Especially like if you're in a very like high level position in your company, maybe you feel like, oh, the highest, then this more serious, right? Then I can't do that. I can't be silly, right? When I feel sometimes it's the opposite, because then basically you're like showing like you're also a human being, and then you're kind of creating a culture where like mistakes are like, I don't know, I don't know, it's easier to make mistake, or they're received in a different way, or I don't know, there is more space for trying things new and to be like a risk taker.
yep. More innovative too. Again, I can't state this enough. If you want people to innovate, if you want people to love and be passionate about their work, you got it. They got to have fun doing it. They got to go in and be in a good state and a good mood. And if your leadership is stuffy and too professional and always like burp 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 everywhere they go, your team's going to be is going to be restricted and they're not going to be at their full potential. There's nothing better than being in a room full of people where you can feel the tension in there and you change that pattern with humor. There's nothing funner about it. And sometimes all you have to do is poke fun at yourself. Poke fun at yourself. And you make a, oh man, I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. And you can say something and get people laughing. The minute they start laughing, the whole room changes. Everything shifts. And that right there creates a good culture because people know it's okay to laugh. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to make mistakes, right? As long as, that we have certain kinds we celebrate, we have others that we don't. But you've got to let people be their true selves and have autonomy. The minute you take away status and autonomy, you got a problem. You got a problem.
Mm.
You got what we call a toxic workplace. If people are unhappy, they're unhappy. The opposite of what we're trying to do, Stefano.
Mm. Yeah, and yes, I mean it's great. I mean, so inspiring, because I feel there's unfortunately we're dealing with a lot of that out there, like toxic culture, toxic workplace, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean this is one of the things that I always share with people, with the training or the workshop. Self-deprecation is one of the easiest things you can do, and as you just mentioned, if it starts from the leaders, then people will follow. That's the example that that the company, everybody else will eventually follow that example, and we feel more relaxed about it, and I don't know, it's a really good way to start, I believe.
Yeah, and leaders, it's top down. Your
Mm.
culture is built by your leadership. So if your leaders are stuffy, your culture will be stuffy. If you want your leadership to be fun, I mean, some of the greatest businesses out there, when you really start looking into it, they create even their workshops around, making them fun and engaging. Where people are in there laughing, they're playing games. I do a lot of like design sprints and things like that, where I go in and do facilitating workshops. And here's another funny thing. This is, well, it's not funny, but it's awesome. I train the PMP, and this is a project management professional, and it is some of the stuffiest stuff, Stefano, you've ever seen. I mean, it's like, today, kids, we're going to talk about the work breakdown structure, and earn value. And it's funny, I'll always set a kid up, like, okay, everybody, I'm getting ready to talk about earned value. Do not fall asleep. Do not wait, turn on your camera, and I start messing with people to get them going, because it's like, I got to change that state, because emotion, once they get emotion, they can attach that to their learning and get it. But if you, and people leave me comments all the time, they're like, your training is crazy, because it's awesome, it's fun. And they're like, I never knew we could have this much fun learning the PMP,
Yeah,
because
that's so cool.
I'm like, you got to create that environment. And I've done that
Mm.
my whole career. That's kind of, and you know where I got it from?
Mm.
My dad,
There you go.
right? We're, product of our environment.
Yes, this is great. Because also this thing that you just shared, I like. I also believe in that. I'm like, see, something so simple, just by saying like, oh, I know I don't want everybody. Did anybody fall asleep? It was just something so simple that
Mhm.
changed everything, right? It changed
Yeah,
the energy. Like, oh, like I don't know, change the perspective.
it
We
does.
already have. Oh, okay, this might be a fun meeting, a fun, whatever workshop, whatever that is. Just so simple, right? That changes everything.
Simple.
And in my opinion, when you use when you're able to use humor and laughter, and as you said earlier, yes, you need to know how to do it. You need to know when, and what, a delicate, the type of humor that you're using. But if you're sharing information, in my opinion, if you share it with humor and laughter, that information will stick. People will remember it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That is so true. That's the thing. If you can get people to laugh while they're learning something, they're going to remember that moment. And honestly, more important, they might not remember everything, but they're going to remember how you made them feel, and they're going to want to be around you. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And when we're leaders, you want people around you. You don't want people hiding from you. That's the last thing you want. If your organization's quiet and people aren't telling you something, it's something's going wrong. You need to dig
Mm.
in. You got watermelons. We call them watermelons. They're green on the outside, great, 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 and you cut into them and they're red. And what's going on? It's madness. And
Yes.
so yeah,
That-
you gotta. It all starts there. It really does.
Yes, that's a great advice. So listen, everybody out there, okay? That's great. That's gold, right? If people are not talking, if there's some, then that means like, oh, something is going on, right? Like, oh,
Something's going wrong because
right,
not
right.
everybody's gonna be quiet together.
I love that. So say I'm one of those leaders, that like, or manager, a CEO, or whatever, a person, in power, in charge of the company, right? They would like to have more humor, more laughter, more joy, more playfulness in the work culture. I think you already shared a lot of that, but I'm going to ask you again. Do you have like maybe any tips, any suggestions, or simple things that I could do?
Yeah, there's a few things that I would recommend that I've seen work for us. Is one, you just have to naturally be yourself. Just literally let that playful side show up at the right time. And as leaders, we know when it's right, what's appropriate and inappropriate. We know. We have emotional intelligence, and if we don't, we need to work on it. And another thing that you can do is hold events. Here's a cool thing about Portland. This is really cool about Portland. Um, we got axe throwing, right? And I love that. So one of the things, you want to have fun with your team, and you want the CEO, like if your team's been working hard, Friday, full paid, we're going to go down, we're going to do some axe throwing, right? We're going to go down and have some fun. We're going to do some things. You bring people down there, and it's just those little things like that, those bonding experiences, especially if you're the CEO, if you're the leader. Don't just do it for your team and send them down there and say, hey, we rented out this place, go do it. Show up, let some guard down, be appropriate, right? Let your guard down and go have fun with your team. Monday, they'll be talking about it. When you come back in, they'll be talking, hey, what's up? How you doing? They're going to be more open to you. And then periodically, if somebody, and this is something I've seen somebody do, I'm going to mention it right here. If people want to hold a chili cook off and to bring the team together, don't turn it down. I actually worked with a CEO where the team got together. They wanted to hold a coloring contest for the kids and a chili cook off for the group and bring everybody together. And everybody got fired up. They were going to do hot chili and all this stuff. And the CEO heard about it and came in and said, no. And not only no, you guys better not be talking during work. Guess
Oh,
what happened?
hmm. I don't
Guess what
know. I
happened?
guess some people left and some people.
Absolutely. It started chaos. He started losing people
Mm.
because he felt that the idea of the I'm paying you for 8 hours worth of work, and this was his motto, I'm paying you for 8 hours worth of work. I want 8 hours worth of work.
Wow.
So,
Interesting, huh?
so think about if he was a little funnier and showed up with some good chili,
Oh
some
man.
fire roast, and said, I'm gonna beat all of you. You're gonna make hot chili. I'm gonna make the hottest chili that you're gonna eat it, and fire is gonna shoot out your eyes.
Yes.
That's a different perspective.
Oh,
People living
totally.
in. Yeah.
This is good. Thank you for sharing that. This is fantastic because yes, I mean, as we mentioned earlier, like the example needs to come from the top, right? From the
Does.
leaders. You show that, then people will follow, right? And then that will make you a better leader, right? And a nice person to be around, right? And like
That's the
then people
goal.
will gonna come up to you, want to talk to you, want to be engaged, they want to like I don't know. And this is also very interesting what you just said. This thing about because I hear this a lot, like, oh, I pay you for the 8 hours, so you got to work for 8 hours, right? When we know that like physically, mentally, that's not possible. We need to have those
Exactly.
breaks. We need to have those moments where we do chili contest or whatever that is, where we step out and we like take a mental break, right? And then this is gonna make you more productive and more creative, right? Because when we know there's millions of study about this, right? About you got to stop, right? And so yeah, this is great. I'm very thankful that you're sharing this.
I want to pull on that because here's an interesting thing. You say we all know, and this is the thing that trips me out is that we do have so much data now. We're definitely in a world of data. We can find data on everything, and we actually know that most people 2 hours of your day is lost no matter what. No matter what, 2 hours is gone. So you only get 6 hours. So if you're working 8 hour day, you only get 6 hours. Then, depending on how much different projects or how much work you have going on, you actually only get about 2.6 hours worth of work a day of actual performance. I mean, you're doing things, but the things that move the needle, they say, and these are in high performers, 2.6 hours of like needle moving, while the rest of it might be in meetings, doing this, facilitating certain things. Um, and that's crazy. So if we have this data, why is it that people still say, I need 8 hours worth of work out of you? Knowing that you're going to go in and you're going to do it and you're going to get it done, but the
Mhm.
environment might only allow you to get 2.6 hours worth of work done.
Yes, yes, and
And you
surely, yeah,
should know that.
yes, yeah, we know that. I mean, we should have that in every like office space and every company, right? Like a big billboard, a big sign that says that to remind people, these are facts. We're just not making this up, right? I think sometimes there is this misconcept of this idea that we need to be busy, right? We need to be doing, right, all the time,
Mhm.
but that's not necessarily being productive, right?
Nope, that's
Doing the
right.
moving papers around is not actually being productive, right?
Yeah, and and right now with the time of AI, a lot of
Mm,
that stuff that we've been doing, like those tasks that people have been hiding behind, get like some of the to-do list stuff that doesn't add value, they're going to have to those that's going to go away, and it's going to be more people having to interact with people. Like you can't hide behind a task no more. It's going to be how do we lead teams, how do we make decisions, and how do we get results. And when you're doing that, best way to motivate people and keep them happy, make them laugh, be
yeah.
personable, be human.
Oh, I love that, man. This is great. Fantastic. I mean, this is so great. I love you sharing this. Well, I want to thank you again for, this nice chat that we had. This is extremely
Absolutely.
inspiring. And thank you again for your time.
Yeah, I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all enjoy and have fun.
Oh,
Right? You
wait,
can have
one
fun in
last
anything
thing,
you do.
okay? One more thing, a very important thing. So, if
Okay.
people want to know more about you, Jeremiah, and want to know about all this really cool stuff that you're doing, where can they find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Jeremiah Hammond on LinkedIn, PMP, or you can check out our website at projectrevolutionllc.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here again.
Awesome. Thank you so much. See ya.
See you.